What is going on, guys? Aero here, and well guys, we finally have another Pokemon Presents that is going to be happening in just a few days from when you guys see this video. As usually you guys know, we always have like a summer Pokemon Presents that happens too. However, it's a little bit unusual because we usually kind of get it around August, but this time it's happening in July. Either way, we're still going to be getting some stuff, and it makes sense because stuff like Pokemon Legends ZA is going to be coming out this year, and we still need to learn more. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about all of my predictions and the things that we could expect inside of this Pokemon Presents, what it's going to be like, and all of that stuff. But you guys know it's pretty much a tradition now whenever we've got a Pokemon Presents coming up to not just have a predictions video alone. So I've got a guest here that I'm sure you guys all know. We've got Ruffled Rowlet in here. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, dude. Glad to be back once again.
Yeah, I mean, this thing was like a tradition, bro. Like, we've been doing this for like Pokemon presentations for like what, how many years now? Where like every single time there's one, we always do our predictions together. So I was like, we gotta do this together, you know. I don't want to break the tradition, you know.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I mean, just jumping right into it, I think the first thing that I gotta talk about, because this is something that I don't think that they have ever done. I don't think I can ever recall them doing this for a Pokemon Presents, which is that for some reason they announced this one like a month and a half before it's gonna happen. Like, I think it was like some random day in June. They were just like, oh, by the way, Pokemon Presents is actually gonna be like, you know, on July 22nd, like a month and a half from now. And I don't think they've ever announced any Pokemon event like this a month and a half before. I think like at most we get it like a week before sometimes. So do you think that there's any type of, you know, importance to this, or do you think it's just some random weird thing that they decided to do?
So the thing is, you're right, they have never done this before. This is like very out of the norm for them, which is really odd. And it was they announced this on the 28th of May, which at that same time that they announced it, that's also the day they revealed the release date, as well as the box art. So like them announcing anything at that point is standard. They always do that in May when a new game has been announced. They usually reveal the release date and the box art, usually always around May. Like, that is a standard thing, so that wasn't out of the norm. But yes, it is really weird that they announced this. It's just so out there. As for what it means, I don't know.
Do you think it's like, because like, I really want you to watch this one for some reason? Like, it's going to be more important than normal Pokemon Presents?
Could be. I mean, there is. Okay, so there's that, one thing
like,
we do
they
know.
uploaded like that Pikachu video with like him like teasing the direct too, like, or like the presentation. Yeah. It's so weird. Like, I don't know.
So people have this is again just what's out there, right? But people have been able to sort of figure out with that it's most likely supposed to be a DJ table, because they're gonna do another one of those like Pokemon like music collections with a bunch of famous artists. They're guessing it's gonna be another one of those albums like they've done in the past. So people are predicting it's going to be a similar thing, because some artist, I think, accidentally already confirmed it, like by accident, that he's on the album or something like that, and people are like, "What album?" So I think there's something out like that. And then the second thing is they're most likely going to announce some new form, like some new kind of game. And when I say game, I'm not talking like something exciting like Generation 10 or, you know, black and white remakes. I'm talking like
a mobile game or something.
Pokemon, Pokemon Smile, Pokemon Sleep, something along those lines. And the reason that's even an expected thing is because of like Riddler Coup. Because Riddler Coup specifically tweeted out that they're making a kitty app, is how he described it, which leans very heavily in the direction of it being something like Pokemon Smile or something like that. And you'll remember, though, that the time when we have had a July Direct in the past, that Direct was when we had a double Direct, which was during the DLC year of Sword and Shield, like the Crown Tundra and Isle of Armor. Like Isle of Armor
was like one back and forth. I remember that. Yeah,
exactly. It was like June and July, and that was like the only other time like I can recall that we had July Direct. But that second one was specifically for Pokemon Unite, right? It was to reveal Unite and make a big deal out of it. And they announced it, I think, on that same day, right? Like they did the presents, and then they announced we're gonna have another presents to reveal our new project. And then suddenly, boom, we had, you know, Pokemon Unite. So I don't know what it is they're gonna reveal, or what kind of game it's gonna be.
It's just
but
really
I do
unusual,
think that's the main reason.
You've never seen this happen before, you know.
True. It is super strange though. And like you could speculate, like, of course people go in a few different directions, right? Like, oh, we're gonna get Gen 10 announced, which is just not happening. Like, that's just extremely unrealistic
Makes no
to
sense,
expect because it makes no sense. It's way too early. Like we are way too early
Yeah,
into
and next year is going to be the Pokemon anniversary, like the 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
Like obviously they're going to reveal it like during that Pokemon Day and celebrating a new generation on a new system and everything. Just makes more sense that way.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, going into the predictions for stuff that's actually going to happen, let's get it out of the way first. The big elephant in the room, we are absolutely going to get something for Pokemon Legends ZA. And honestly,
Yep.
I'm actually very excited for this because if you recall, whenever we get like the second Pokemon Presents, especially for these Legends games, those are the ones that are like extremely exciting. Because I remember when Pokemon Legends Arceus was first revealed, and like that, I think it was like February Pokemon Day 2021. It looked cool, but they kind of just showed us a very basic kind of like overview of what the game is like. They kind of just showed you like those kind of overworld shots of like, oh, here's like the Jubilee Village, and here's like you throwing a Pokeball. But it was also kind of laggy too, if you remember like that Chingling that was like lagging in like 2 FPS and stuff. It wasn't really like super cool. But when we got to the Pokemon Presents that happened in August, that's when they were like, oh, here's the Hisui region, here's like all of this crazy stuff, and like here's all of these like behemoth Pokemon that were like going to be chasing you and attacking you, and like it actually made the game look way cooler. They showed off the new forms of like Weirdeer and Hisuian Braviary and Bascu Legion and everything. So I'm sure that they're doing the same type of deal with Pokemon ZA also, where like the first trailer was cool, we got to see the starters and some stuff, but like a lot of people were saying, you know, they didn't really show us like anything super exciting. I think this is obviously going to be where the exciting stuff is going to be. So do you have any hopes and wishes for what you think is going to come out of this?
Yeah, so the number one thing, of course, is going to be like expected is to be new megas, right?
Yep,
Like brand new mega
100%,
evolutions.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's like the big one. That's the one that, you know, I think everybody's expecting, hoping, you know, like assuming is going to be there. Like that one is kind of a given, right? Is that should be there. If it isn't, then it will be really weird. But yes, new mega evolutions being revealed, because if you think about it, that's the one thing they keep hyping up about this game is like megas are back, you know, megas are back. Oh my God,
it was
megas.
like at the end of the
like,
teaser,
you know,
for the first thing that they showed.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, yeah, if megas are back, then yeah, you know, like, are you gonna make a deal out of them, or is it gonna be new ones? Because if it's just old ones, then
It's
I
not
mean,
really as exciting.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. It's like cool. We got megas back, but you know, the fun part is having new ones, right? Like that's what people, you know, that's what people want, right? And that's the thing. They need to announce something like that, which I think they will. There's like no doubt. There's also a bunch of people, you know, leakers and stuff like that are saying that that's going to be the case. So it's very much like a guarantee that megas will be the number one thing we will
that's
see.
like my most anticipated
You know.
thing I'm expecting out of this, that I think is reasonable too.
Yeah.
And there's also been like that
100%.
list going around for like months now from somebody apparently who had like the Game Freak Terra leak with like that playable version of supposedly of ZA, and they've been giving like some of the megas that are going to be there. So if we start to see some of those inside of this, then I think that that's going to get more credibility too. So it should make sense if we
true.
see one of those types of megas. But yeah, I think that's like definitely one of the biggest things. But also, I'm really hoping that they give us more information about like the premise and exactly how the game is going to work too, because we still don't know too much about that. Like they kind of showed you like with some of the stuff that we got in like Nintendo Directs before, like it looks like in the daytime you're going to be catching Pokemon and exploring, but at nighttime it becomes some like crazy like battle thing where you're going to be trying to like rank up from Z all the way to A and stuff. So hopefully they kind of go over more of that and like what the gameplay loop is going to be like, because I know they did that for the Pokemon Presents in 2021 for the second one that they did. They kind of told you like exactly like, all right, here you're going to be in Jubilee Village and you're going to be, you know, taking, you know, all of these surveys for these different Pokemon, and you're going to be doing this and then battling these like bosses and stuff like that. So I think that that's probably what they're going to try to show too, and kind of like what the game's going to be like and what you're going to be doing for most of it.
Yeah, I'm certain that we're gonna get something along those lines, like a kind of like one of those explainer videos as they like go through like different features and stuff. Because, like you said, we don't really know a lot, really. I mean, I say we don't know a lot, but technically we do. But at the same time, we don't, right?
Yeah, I mean,
like
there's been info,
the game.
but it's
We know
just
what
been
it's
like
based
lightly
on.
kind of sprinkled. We haven't had like the big like
Yeah.
piece of pizza given to you, you know, where it's like, here's this, you
True.
know, like, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing, though. I'm really hoping that they do take like this opportunity to try to make the game look more exciting. Because I will be honest and say that like there has been kind of I don't know, like I don't know if you've noticed it, but there's been like the interest in ZA has kind of I would say from the
100%,
community
dude.
point, dwindled, right?
Yeah, for
Like,
sure. Like, I
haven't
know so
really
many
seen a
times,
lot of
like, I even, like,
excitement.
make a tweet about it and stuff, and people are like, oh, yeah, I forgot that that game's still coming out this year. Or, like, I didn't know that that game was still slated for this year and stuff, so, yeah.
Yeah, so like they really need to like knock it out of the park with this one, and I think they do know that because this is like their first Pokemon game for the Switch 2 as well, which I mean doesn't sound that crazy if you think about it because yeah, it's going to be a dual release, but it's still, you know, like they you know, at the end of the day, you know, sales are sales no matter what, and they you know, they have to make sure they still get people to buy this thing on the Switch 2 to encourage like, you know, the conversion over to that console. But also like I'm just like really curious to see how this one's gonna like pan out. But yeah, either way.
Do you think they're gonna make a big deal about that too? Like, do you think they're gonna show you like more of like the Switch 2 version in this and like comparisons and like how it's gonna be better on the new system and stuff to try to get people to buy it?
I somehow doubt they would, because at the end of the day, to Game Freak themselves, and they're the ones who are of course producing these, I would assume, or at least like the ones providing like, you know, the details and stuff, because they do have control of it somewhat. But like I really doubt that they would want to, or to really care that much. I mean, of course, the success of the Switch is the success of Pokemon, right? Because if the Switch sells a lot, then Pokemon sells a lot as well. But at the same time, they're not. It's not at their behest. You know what I mean? Like they don't really care that much about it. At the end of the day, like as long as the games sell, that's all that matters to them.
You're
Doesn't matter.
forgetting they get an extra $10 if it's on the Switch too, because it's $70 on there. So maybe I don't know. Maybe they'll care if they want. They get $10 from everybody. Like, dude, that's a lot of extra couple millions coming their way, you know. So
that is a fair point.
But yeah, maybe
I don't know. It's just
maybe
one of
they'll
those
just have like a little thing in the corner that says like, oh, this is on Switch 2, this is on Switch 1, and you can just kind of see like in the director the presents. But maybe they won't actually like make a big deal out of like telling you like, oh, here's the Switch 2 version. Or sometimes they might just, maybe they'll just also show it like just on the Switch 2 the whole time, and the whole video will be in 4K and stuff too. But like, you'll get the Switch 1 version and also the Switch 2 version. I don't know.
Definitely possible. I wouldn't be surprised if they do the whole thing on the Switch 2, because it's just gonna look better. You know?
Yeah, I mean, like,
But
I
then
think if
again,
they want to just show it the best way possible, like, you know, having the whole presents with like 4K gameplay and it looks buttery smooth with the FPS and everything, because that's how it's going to be on Switch too. So maybe they'll do that.
I do think they probably would, because it's just gonna, you know, from the outside looking in, it's just gonna look
Nintendo
better
might have
for
even
as
told
well,
them
you know?
to be able to like make the Switch 2 look more appealing and stuff, because this is probably going to be one of their biggest holiday games, is like Pokemon on the Switch 2 and stuff. You know.
True.
So, but yeah, do you have any other things from ZA specifically that you want, or should we move on?
Well, I just like, one thing I will say about ZA, I just hope they just show more of what there is to do in the game, because like so far the only thing they've really shown us is a few of the Pokemon, right, the starters, stuff like that, the combat system, which has been changed to now be like an action combat system, which is very exciting. That's like one of the things I'm the most excited for, because
for sure,
I'm gonna get to play the game because I'm going to be going to Gamescom in Germany this August, and they're gonna have a playable demo there, so I will get to try it out like firsthand already before release, and I'm really curious to see how that combat's gonna work. But like that's like one of the only things they've actually shown us. The only other thing we know about is, you know, the whole nighttime battle royale thing, and even with that, it's just like based on what leakers are saying and based on what they've shown, it's like that seems to be like that seems like the big thing for this game. Like that's the big selling point almost, which is weird, because that feels like one of those, like, is it like, you know, it feels more like tacked on in some way.
It's just also interesting because like this game, they've already told us it's also just in the city only. Like you're not going to be able to go explore and stuff. Like it's just going to be in Lumio City. So it's like, if you just have Lumio City with these kind of like sections to find wild Pokemon, and then at night you're going to be doing battles, like I don't know how many people are going to be like super hyped for this, you know? So hopefully they can do some stuff to make it actually really exciting. And I feel like maybe they'll do that with the new Mega Pokemon and stuff like that. And I think that this game still needs to have, like, they haven't talked about like what the boss fight are going to be like inside of this game. Like there's not going to be gyms, I don't think, but like you know how in Pokemon Arceus you had like the different battles, like the Cleaver battle and then the Lilligant and the Avalugg and stuff like that. There's probably going to be some equivalent of that, I would guess, and like you're going to have to do like some, and that might be honestly the Mega Pokemon. Like there might be new Mega Pokemon that are like going to be enraged or something, and you have to take them down. I could see something like that happening.
Most likely, and I would assume that's what they're gonna show, most likely, you know, during this presentation. Like that would be the most logical thing for them to actually, you know, show us.
Yeah. But I agree with you. Hopefully they can really make the game look exciting, because I'm still excited for it. I think it's going to be pretty good. It's probably my most excited game now, honestly, for like Nintendo for this year at this point now, because Donkey Kong just came out today from when we're making this, and I can't wait to play that later. But yeah.
Same.
But yeah, I mean, okay, so moving into the next thing, the other thing I feel like has a very good chance of happening, and it's also something that I'm actually very excited for, which is one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to this Pokemon Presents more than usual, is because like usually we kind of just look forward to whatever like the game is at the end, but this time we could also potentially see something which is Pokemon Champions. And Pokemon Champions was like a surprise announcement that was just, you know, dropped on Pokemon Day earlier this year, where it's basically going to be like your battle simulator type of game, focused on just having really competitive battles and stuff. But I think that there's a really good chance that this game could be shown inside of this too. And are you expecting that as well?
Yes, 100%. Like if Champions doesn't show up, it would be really bizarre and strange. Because it's like, you know, it's the only other thing we know about besides Legends EA, right? And also it is, I mean, we're only like what, like a few days or like a few weeks before or like after this presents next week. We also have the World Championship coming up, you know, in August.
True. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So you know, it's the perfect timing to announce like a little bit more about it, maybe like a release date, or show off some gameplay to get people excited, and then tell them, hey, we'll have further news during the World Championship to encourage people to actually watch the championship, you know, and tune in for it.
They never did say when it's coming out, right? Like when it was first announced, they didn't say like if it's this year or next year or anything. Yeah,
exactly. They didn't highlight if it's 2025, 2026, 2027. They didn't say anything. You know, they simply just.
That is interesting. And I mean, I did see, like, I made a video on this just yesterday, but people were saying that if you looked in like on the LinkedIn for like some developer, he was basically saying that he worked on like Pokemon Champions from like I think January to like June, and he was like he basically like kind of like tutored already like new kind of directors and like designers and stuff, and then moved on to a different project, which a lot of people are thinking that could mean that essentially a lot of the main development for this game has been completed already, and it could be closer than we think. So I think that that's possible too.
Very much so. Yeah, like I covered the same exact topic, and yeah, if one of the people who was, you know, heavily working on it or directing it or whatever, I don't remember like which position he held again, but it was high enough up, like a creative director. Yeah, I think it was creative director, right? Yeah, that's like far enough up that, you know, if he's done with it already, unless of course he left for some reason, but the fact that, you know, the way he describes it sounds more like, yeah, he just was done with his work, you know, like he's done his creative directing, and he's
mentored future directors. Like the game's still going to continue after, and like he's just teaching all of the new people what to do too. So yeah.
But yeah, so it only makes sense then, right, that like the is in a complete enough state that it should be either ready to launch or in like, you know, like either launch or in a ready enough state that it should be like a release date should be givable, right? Like they should be able to announce a release date,
or at least say like early 2026 or late 2025 or something, because I think it's possible we could see that this year, honestly. Because if it's just really going to be about battles and you're not going to have like an actual like other modes or anything else to worry about, then I think it's possible that the game should be ready. And it's probably not going to have every Pokemon either. Obviously, it's probably going to like slowly drip feed like Pokemon into it and stuff.
Most likely, it's like the only way to like really also balance it, because I highly doubt they're gonna put in 1,000 like Pokemon right off the bat. You know, it's just not a realistic thing for them to do. Of all, like, you know, if you think about, you know, Game Freak or even like Ilka or any of the people involved with it, they're not gonna just dump that many Pokemon straight into it, you know?
I think some people are going to be surprised too, because I think this isn't really like known information a ton, but it was like if you looked like really on the website and scrolled down a lot, but it seems like this is most likely going to be like a digital only game, and it's also going to be paid. So I think some people thought it was going to be like free to play, like a gacha game, and it was going to have like a bunch of like microtransactions and stuff. I think that would have been honestly like the bad move for them to do, or make it like a subscription. So I don't honestly mind if it's just going to be like a one-time payment and you buy it like a digital game on the eShop, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore, and it just gets updates.
I would love if that was the case. I do hope that it's just a purchasable one-time like purchase.
And I mean, if there is transactions, make them just for like your trainer, like you can have different clothing or something like that. I don't really care if it's like that. But I don't think that they would make it like so monetized where it's like, oh, if you want to unlock the Gen 9 Pokemon, you got to pay $10 or some bullshit like that. That would be awful.
Yeah, I doubt they would do that. That just
Yeah, I don't
doesn't
think
seem
so.
like
No. Yeah.
like I think even they know that that wouldn't really look good for them. Like, it would just kind of not be a very like bad business decision because it would just get them a lot of. I think even they know that would get them a lot of flack. Like they get away with it in other games like Unite and stuff because those games are like using the framework of other style of games. Like think about it. Like in League of Legends, you have to still buy the champions, right? And you buy skins for them. So applying that same logic to a game like Pokemon Unite is okay because that kind of audience is accustomed to, and that is how those kinds of games make money because they are free. But for Pokemon competitive battling, it's always been associated to like as a segment of a regular game, right? It's a part of a regular Pokemon game, so you never have to pay for it separately, and you could never buy Pokemon unless, of course, you're one of those people who decides to buy Pokemon online, which I know some people do, which is really bizarre to me. But unless you're one of those people, like you're not really out here spending money buying individual Pokemon. Like it's just bizarre. And if you do it, it's really weird. But it's not something that they ever charge people for. And if they suddenly start doing it, I mean, Dexit is gonna look like a fucking walk in the park compared to that.
Yeah, no, they get
like
a lot of backlash, a ton of backlash if they do that. But yeah, hopefully the game isn't going to be priced at like a full-fledged like $60 title because I think that would be pretty bad. But I mean, if it's just going to be like a digital-only game, just focused on battling and stuff, I think if it's like $40 or something, that would be pretty good. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, honestly, dude, as long as it's like, I will gladly pay like that amount, as long as it means that like the game itself is going to have, like no microtransaction bullshit where you buy Pokemon or anything that's like like predatory in any sense,
right?
I
completely agree. Hopefully they go over that type of stuff too, like more into detail about like what the gameplay is going to be like and like how you're going to like transfer Pokemon and like how you can do the battles, because I mean we're assuming this game is actually going to like allow for all the gimmicks too. Like it seems like you're going to be able to do like megas and terastallizing at the same time because they teased that already at the end of the video, but I'm sure they're going to do like Z moves and then also Dynamaxing and stuff too, and you should be able to do all of that. So it will be cool if they can get all of that to work, and I think that if they highlight that type of stuff, it'll definitely seem really exciting inside of that. So I am actually very excited to learn about this game too, so it's going to be exciting because like I'm looking forward to this and ZA, so if they're both going to be in, it should be a pretty good Pokemon Presents. I think
I highly doubt that that they would not include both of those, right? Like it'd be really weird if they didn't include both of them. So I wouldn't worry too much about like not seeing like champions. It'd be really strange if they don't include it because it's one of those games we know nothing about. Like they didn't even give a release date, nothing. So it's like they have to say something about it, and I doubt that they wouldn't want to talk about it a little bit and promote it and stuff. It's it's in their nature to want to promote it, so of course they're probably going to do that. But for sure, at the end of the day, we're gonna have to wait and see.
Yep. I mean, but besides that, I mean, I'm sure there's probably going to be some mobile game updates too, like, the usual, like, cafe remakes and stuff like that. Pokemon Unite will get something, Pokemon Masters. But yeah, I mean, besides that, I'm not really expecting, like you said earlier, I don't expect any, like, big game announcement to be inside of this because Pokemon ZA is really, like, their focus for this year. Like, I'm not expecting Gen 10 or Gen 5 remakes or anything like that. I don't think there's any reason to expect that, and Pokemon Day 2026 is not going to be super far away, and then they'll definitely have the announcement there.
Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense to do anything associated to Gen 10 right now. If they do it, it would be insane. We'll say like that.
If they did anything, insanity. They wouldn't even like say, like, they wouldn't even show anything. I think it would just be like Ishihara or somebody just saying, and we're also working on an entire new generation of Pokemon for the Nintendo Switch 2 or something like that, and it would just say like, please look forward to that as well or something like that.
Yeah, that's like the most you'd expect.
Even that is like a 5% chance of happening. I just don't see them. There's no reason for them to talk about it because ZA is already going to get so much hype from like just showing new megas and stuff, and people will be excited from that.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Exactly. I will say one thing though, I wouldn't be surprised if they do suddenly announce a second present, like within this present.
For this year still?
Like, yeah, so I'm just saying, like, don't be surprised if during the present they say, hey, join us for another Pokemon Presents 2 weeks from now in August to talk further about Pokemon Champions. Like that's something I definitely could see happening.
Like a whole entire thing focused on champions. That would be cool too. I wouldn't mind that, because I mean, I don't know how much they can really cover in just like a 4-minute segment, like inside of a presents, So yeah.
Exactly, because like the thing is, you got to think about it, right? Like Pokemon Champions, they really kind of, they announced it and then they kind of skimmed over it. And if you kind of look at like their Twitter, they don't really talk about it yet. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's not been a lot of promo. There's not, like, at least as far as I can tell.
There's probably also another one of those games that people just forgot even exists.
Exactly. So it's like, if they want to make sure that that game also gets its, like, especially if it is a game that might come out this year, then they have to make sure that they promote it in a sense, right? Like they have to make sure that people know about it, because right now, unless you're like somebody like us who keeps up with it, you don't even really know this game exists. Like most people would have forgotten it by now because it was announced half a year ago at this point, right? Yeah. So it's like, I think my biggest prediction would be that they're going to announce unless this presented itself is so massive, because we don't even know how long it is. I don't think they've announced that yet. But like, unless this presents itself as like 45 minutes or something, which I highly doubt, but like otherwise I feel like they need an entire presentation just to talk about Pokemon Champions, to explain it, and also like, get people's interested in it, right? Like get the ball rolling, because at the end of the day, like they've never had a game like that's fully separate for competitive, right? Like they've never had like yes, we have VGC, but VGC has always been tied to whatever the current generation is, right? Like it's always been tied directly to that. So how do you know how well this is going to perform? I mean, sure, there's clearly an audience there, but like, how big is that audience realistically compared to, how it may look from an inflated point of view because of like, the competitive scene being tied directly to the main game, which in itself brings people into the competitive, right? Like just naturally, because people will be curious to try out competitive.
One thing that I was kind of really hoping for is like, this game potentially could do more and also be really good in the sense of like teaching people how competitive Pokemon is like, because that's something that's never really done. Like the Pokemon company never really teaches you or like kind of has people learn like what competitive battling is. You really kind of have to go out of your way and like go on YouTube or like watch other people and learn that way. But I think if the Pokemon company had some type of actual like game like Pokemon Champions, where maybe there's like a mode where you actually learn about it, I think that could potentially get a lot of people interested, because right now there's people that, like, if you tell them like what a choice specs is, they don't understand, like they don't know what that item does or like what the point of that even is. But like a competitive player will know because they use it all the time in battle, but there's nothing that ever like teaches you. So I think it would be cool if like Pokemon Champions has some mode where like you learn about these competitive items, like you learn, here's what choice specs does, here's what a focus sash is for, here's what all of this is. And I think that way people could learn and get more interested in potentially doing competitive battling. And maybe that's what kind of they're going to try to do too, because I know they've said like in their description for Pokemon Champions, they really want to try to get more people into having competitive battles. So I think that could be a really good idea if they decide to do that.
And you just literally hit the nail on the head, dude, because that's exactly why I am even like excited for this game at all, is because I want to get into competitive, but it's always been kind of a hurdle of getting into it through the use of like the regular games.
Yeah, dude,
simply
really,
because
like,
of like,
right now you basically have to go to like Wolfie Glick or some like YouTuber and like look at their videos and like have them teach you like the strategies and what people do, and like not everybody wants to do that, but like if you have now,
and it's not the only part, it's also the whole like having to like build a team, and then like the amount of time it takes to like to grind out the items, get the right natures and stuff, especially if you're not really versed in like that, it's a very time consuming thing. It takes up a lot of time, and it's like that in itself can be very discouraging. But if the game has preset teams, preset Pokemon, and the and
that's one of the things people have been talking about this game too, is like maybe they might finally give you the freedom to be able to kind of like shift those things around, because it's not really going to be impacting like your main series game or anything. If it's just like reading the data for Pokemon that you have from Pokemon Home, if you've got a Charizard in Pokemon Home and then you can use that Charizard in Pokemon Champions, if you change it from like an adamant nature to like a modest nature or something, it's not going to be like affecting everything else. So I feel like giving that type of freedom inside of this game should be fine. and I think a lot of people would be able to kind of learn really like how that works and why people do that and what EVs and IVs are used for and stuff. So I think that having a game like this where it's easy to do that and you don't have to go out of your way to like EV train and do all this crazy extra hard like time consuming stuff in like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, that could be really useful too, like you said.
Yep, no, I agree 100%, dude.
Yeah, so hopefully Pokemon Champions is going to be something like that. I'm pretty excited for it. I hope that there's also a Switch 2 version. That's something we don't know about. Like, I do hope that there's actually one where it looks better on the Switch 2 also.
I'd assume there would be. Like, I'm not super concerned about that. I'm pretty sure there will be. So I wouldn't worry too much about that one.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any guess for like the price? Like how much you think it's going to be? I think 40 or like 50 maybe at the most.
Well, I don't know. I still feel like it is going to be a free game in some sense.
Oh.
Like, I still think it is. Like, I still feel like it's going to be the case. If it's a payable
download, that'll be interesting. I don't know. I just keep, I looked on the website and like it said like paid download and stuff like that. So I think that's why people are saying that it's going to be paid. But I'm sure they have to go over that information inside of this. So we'll know for sure in a few days.
Yeah, true. But I don't know. Like, if there was a price, I'd say 45. Like, is where they would like kind of.
That's a good price.
Draw the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but now with all the inflated pricing, it might even go up to 50, 60. To be honest, like given how insane prices are getting.
Yeah, everything is so expensive now. It's awful. So yeah. Yep. All right. Well.
But yeah.
Do you have anything else for this Pokemon Presents you want to talk about? Any other like, out of this like kind of possibility of happening predictions?
Not really, because I feel like that's mostly it. There isn't really much else that could happen, to be fair.
Yeah, because I'm not expecting like any like new spin-off game or any like big thing to get dropped.
No. So that's the only thing. It's like I said, there is that whole mobile game that was mentioned, like
the Riddler thing.
Riddler thing about like a childish mobile game. But that's kind of where it ends. There's not really like realistically we kind of know what to expect this time around. It's mostly just like Legends EA, Champions most likely, and though there's no guarantees for that either. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So it's like there's not really much else that they could do. I mean, of course, it's going to be the occasional person who will say like black and white remakes, but that I mean, there's always a chance. Never say never, because I mean, people didn't think we're going to ever get two Pokemon games released a month between each other, and then BDSP and Arceus happened. So it's like never say never.
Or
but
even
it's just like
last year, like going into the Pokemon Day last year, we were like, what are they going to announce? Like we didn't know. Like people were like, oh, let's go Johto. Are we going to go to Black and White? And then they were just like, nope, we're going to Kalos. So like. Yeah, they could always do something out of nowhere.
That was fucking surprising, dude. That was so
everybody,
surprising.
Dude, that was like one of the most fun like Pokemon Presents ever, because like we had no idea what to expect, and every single person was wrong. Like nobody said Pokemon Legends in Kalos or X and Y. So that was so much fun to actually see for the first time. Nobody got spoiled.
That is true. That was actually like hands down one of the just weirdest.
Yeah, no, like I still have the recording of all of us screaming in the call. That was like genuine surprise from everybody, because nobody knew anything. It wasn't leaked anything either, because I know like I think for ZA with the starters, you saw them on 4chan before, right? Because they were like posted, like somebody who said who the starters were, because you told me.
Yeah.
You were like, remember 255 or something, or 225 or something, like you said, like for Gen 2, and Gen 5 starter or something. So yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So that was kind of already like leaked by a bunch of people. So there's a lot of that though with this game. I feel like there's been a lot of information about this game that's just kind of already seeped out in a sense.
Partly, I'm sure that's because of that big Game Freak hack and all of the stuff that still exists.
100%. 100%.
That's
yes.
Unfortunate. And because of that, sadly, we still have stuff about Gen 10 that came out too, like how it's going to be like an archipelago type of game, apparently. Like it's going to have lots of islands and stuff. And so we'll see that, I'm sure, next year. That'll be exciting too. But also, I know we usually talk about how like there might be the chance of getting the virtual console like types of games, but I don't think we're going to see that either.
I doubt it.
Because next year is the Pokemon anniversary, so I feel like if they are gonna like do something where it's like here's like the classic collection of like Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow and stuff like on Switch Online or just like eShop downloads, I think celebrating that for the anniversary next year makes much more sense than doing it this time. And I think that's what they did for Pokemon Red and Blue for the anniversary, I think in 2016 also. Like that's when they came to the 3DS eShop, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, makes more sense to do it then.
Exactly. Yep.
But yeah, I think that's gonna do it. I mean, we talked for like a good half an hour or so, and I think we kind of talked about all the main stuff. Legends EA Champions is gonna be, of course, the exciting stuff. So that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, same, more or less. I'm just excited to see Champions more than anything, even more than Legends EA at this point. I'm so curious about that game.
Yeah, honestly, same. Like I actually do like really enjoy competitive battling and stuff. Like I don't do it a ton. Like I'm not really somebody who like goes to like tournaments or anything, but it's something that I just do enjoy in kind of my free time. I'll do like some random like battles on like Showdown and stuff too. But now if I could just like do that, because the cool thing is it's on your phone too. Like you could actually do this like if you're just like away somewhere like outside and you need like a couple like a break or something, you could like literally be on your phone and doing competitive battles. Like that's kind of cool actually if you think about it like that.
That is pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. That's the thing. That's why I'm so excited to see this game, because I like this will probably be one of the only Pokemon like spin-off games and side games that I'm actively going to like engage with, which because all the other ones are banned for me, so I literally cannot play them.
Yeah, because I'm sure like you can actually probably like rank up and stuff too, like on your phone, and then that progress will carry over if you turn it on your Switch. Like it'll all be synced together, so it could be really cool. Like if you could do it like that. So I'm very much looking forward to Champions.
Yep. Yes, sir.
But yeah, that is going to do it, you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I mean, I'm very excited for this Pokemon Presents, and of course, I'm sure me and Ruffled will be streaming it like we always do. It should be a lot of fun to watch that presentation, and it's going to be just a few days away from when this video goes live, so I hope you guys will all come through and watch that with us. It'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, Ruffled, let people know where they can find you, because you know you've got a lot of great videos on your channel too.
Yes, sir. Well, if you like Pokemon, just come over to Ruffle Rowlet on YouTube, and yeah, you can check out me. I'm just talking about Pokemon news mostly, so if you're into that, you know where to find me.
All right, sounds good. All right, well, thanks so much for coming, and of course, we'll be back next year for the Pokemon Presents predictions for Pokemon Day with Gen 10, and I'm sure that's going to be very exciting. So it'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for watching, and we will see you guys very soon. All right, peace.